Folks who are at community colleges sort of got punched in the gut when they found out that UCSD has dropped its guaranteed transfer program. Okay, don't panic quite yet. Ron Ducerus from Ducerus College, Ron Carruthers from Ducerus College Solutions is here to help us understand what's going to happen. And we should start out by saying that this doesn't take effect immediately.
No, what happened is recently the Regents of UCSD voted to end the transfer guarantee program, the TAG program, effective 2014.
Okay, so if you are in a community college now, you still have a chance for 2013.
Or if you're going to start in fall, you just have to make sure that you complete in 2 years and that you fill out your application in 2013, but that's the last class. After that, the program's over.
And I feel for students because they were hoping to save money by starting out their education at a community college. Now that doesn't give them the guaranteed transfer.
Correct. It doesn't mean all hope's lost. It just means the transfer guarantee program is gone at UCSD. It still exists at the other UC programs except for UCLA, Berkeley, and now UCSD.
Let me ask you this though. If somebody's at a community college and they have good grades, how do they compete against somebody who's coming from a high school with good grades? Does one favor over the other even without a guaranteed transfer?
Well, it's a totally different program. When you're getting entrance as a freshman, it's far more competitive than it is as a transfer student.
Okay.
So it's a lot harder to get in as a freshman because of the attrition of freshmen and sophomores who just decide college isn't for them or they want to go somewhere else. So it's not impossible, and it is easier to transfer still even without the guarantee program.
Okay, so it is easier even without the guarantee.
But you still have to pay attention to a few things.
Like what?
Number one, grades matter more than ever. So again, that program, the enrollment on it just swelled over the last few years, and so they felt they had to end it because they were turning away better students. So you still have to compete academically, number one. Number two is you want to make sure when you apply that just like when you're out of high school, you don't apply to one college or two colleges. You really need to apply to 6, 7, or 8. Even as a transfer
student. Give yourself
a
chance, because if you apply to one and then you don't get in,
you're
I don't
in
know
trouble.
what you, yes.
Yeah, you're in trouble. Although I will tell you something very interesting. 432 colleges out of 1,200 that report, as of this moment, still have space available for fall 2012.
So almost a third.
1/3 out of both transfer and freshman students. So again, we keep that list. If someone wants to find it, there's still space available even for fall.
So how do you do that then? How do you get in when maybe you got denied already, or you didn't apply to them when you should have?
Well, you can look for other schools that still have space available. That's real important.
Okay.
And then again, back to the transfer program, grades matter, apply to lots of schools.
Yes.
Also, you want to make sure there's a junior college honor society called Phi Theta Kappa. It's ptk.org, which really helps students not only with scholarships, but it helps them transfer over and get priority transfer at a lot of schools. And lots of community colleges have honors programs, which are real important for them to participate in.
Tell me about the importance of doing an internship if you're at a community college level.
It's absolutely huge, not just for the transfer standpoint, because that's really important because it's one thing you can do that differentiates yourself among other students, and that's one of the things they look at. So SAT grades, I mean SAT and ACTs don't really matter as a transfer student, but internships do. And the other thing that is real important, as we've talked about on the show in the past, is if someone wants to go into a field, it really helps them determine if that field is right for them, rather than getting a degree in something they ultimately hate, which we hear a lot of.
And that's so sad because you're spending so much money. And
yeah,
if you just would have spent maybe,
cry.
Maybe yours in that case. Yeah, if you just would have spent one semester feeling it out, then maybe you would have
and realize it's not for you, it would have been a good thing. Or if it is for you, you're making contacts and networking and all sorts of things like that.
So were you disappointed to hear that they had ended this transfer program?
I think it was really sad because over the last few months, there's been a 68% increase in out-of-state students at UCSD. That's how they're balancing their budget, and I think it was an expedient solution, but maybe it wasn't the best thought-out solution. They could have found another way to do it. It was disappointing.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm sure frustrating for a lot of students who had hoped to save money going that way.
Correct, but it's not the end of the world.
Not the end of the world, and of course, if you have some questions about financial aid or getting scholarships, Ron is certainly the person to contact.
We got a whole team. Call us, and if they need that list, they can call our office and find it, of the schools with space available.
Your website is?
Ducerus.com/Carlsbad.
Ducerus.com/Carlsbad, and I promise you he'll get you some answers.
Yep.
Thanks, Ron, for coming in.
You're welcome.